Hello. I'm going to share with you just a few thoughts on the Feast of the Epiphany. What became of the gifts of gold and frankincense and myrrh which the Magi presented to the newborn child in Bethlehem? Because the scriptures are silent on this matter. And yet gold and frankincense and myrrh were precious commodities, even in very small quantities. And the Eastern dignitaries who had travelled such a long distance to find the newborn king would have chosen them very carefully indeed to honour the dignity of this newborn Saviour, as well as to signify the respect shown him as representatives of the lands from where they had travelled. The gifts spoke about their background, their people and their culture. And to this day, spices from the East and pressed oils are a welcome gift. What followed soon after the Magi turned homewards may give us a clue to the fate of those precious gifts. Because Joseph is warned in yet another dream to take the child and his mother at once and to flee into Egypt. And of course, Egypt is synonymous in the minds of the evangelist with the exile of the chosen people. An exile out of which, in the Old Testament, they emerged in haste and bearing their most precious belongings, just as Joseph and Mary are now going in the opposite direction back into Egypt, but bearing their most precious possession, Jesus, the Messiah and the Saviour. So maybe then in their haste, Joseph and Mary simply forgot or preferred not to take the Magi's gifts with them. And maybe those gifts were trodden into the straw by the ox and the donkey sheltering in that stable. Maybe someone in greater need came on them a day or two afterwards, and so became the first recipient of the charity of God himself. But the deeper truth lies, of course, in the single-minded action of Joseph and Mary. Their hearts and their minds are completely focused on the child who has been given to them. And Mary, pondering all these things in her heart, is already a disciple of her Son, while Joseph, like Joseph the dreamer in Egypt, is at the disposal of God's will. And so they set out, their faith and action the gateway to the great Epiphany, which is that salvation prepared for all the world is now present in Jesus, God and God's gift, the only gift to seek and serve in love, because gift better than himself God does not know.